Number 1, John Routledge from Whitehaven. His teammate number 2, David Seeds. 3, Kevin Pape in his testimonial year from Carlisle. 4, from Workington, Paul Burns. From Warrington, Jonathan Roper. At 6, from Salford, Martin Burkett. 7, Dean Marwood from Workington. 8, Jonathan Neal from St Helens. 9, Steve McCurry from Widnes. 10, up here a fortnight ago, Russ Walker from Hull. At 11, Colin Armstrong from Workington. 12, David Elliott from Warrington. 13, Simon Knox from Carlisle. And today's substitutes, very, very young on the bench. They've gone for youth. Lee Anderson at 14, Stephen Holgate at 15, Neil Shaw at 16 and Lee Smith at 17. Today's officials, the referees, Mr John Connolly from Wigan, aided with the touch judges, Mr Molyneux from Lincoln and Mr Leyland from Wigan. So it's Kevin Pape, who in his testimonial year has been given the honour of leading the Cumbrians for the first time. Paul Sirnan is the man who's in charge of the Aussies today. So it's going to be Cumbria, for anybody who knows the ground, who will be attacking the river end. There is no wind at all, it'll be slippy underfoot. But Mr Connolly's ready and gets the proceedings underway now. Marwood kicks deep. Taken well, fed on to Sirnan, this big second row met by Russ Walker. But Sirnan brings it to the 22, Sedaris from acting half-back, looks for runners, onto this big prop from Manly, Ian Roberts. Sedaris again, onto Lazarus, he needs no introduction to the Cumbrian crowd, he's been up here before. Now Sedaris again, just slipped. Did Menzies as he went into the tackle, but good tackling in this early set of 6 before the kick comes in from Fittler. But it's off the side of the foot. An early error from the Aussies of 94. So it's a scrum down on the 10-yard line. Remember Fittler, the man who was doing the kicking 4 years ago when he was here, picked up the Man of the Match award. So it's Marwood to feed this scrum. Comes up with it, rock steady, looks for support, finds Burkett, tucks it in before he's brought down there by Hill from Manly. Now good strong run there, but Knox upended. McCurry looks for runners onto Jonathan Neal, his big St Helens prop. Sure he'll relish this, he'll meet them again later on the tour. But this is his first introduction. Now McCurry spins it wide onto Marwood, miss out Armstrong, then onto Burkett wide. But a tremendous hit there by Hill again. As the ball was spilled out, it's Australia who come up with it. Sedaris now offloads. But the tackling's good. Australia come left. Steps inside Pape, but offloads onto Wendell Saylor, this youngster. Very exciting prospect. Offloads, does well. The backline's moving now. Menzies through the gap. He's got support. Infield. Well, onto Walters, but the option was possibly the wrong one as Seeds came across to do the tackling. Saylor in from the left wing position. Wide. Fittler, short ball onto the Manly prop Robertson. In goes for the first try McGregor. So that's an indication. Australia giving the ball plenty of air early on, and as the ball went wide it was McGregor to take the final pass and open the scoring. So an early setback for Cumbria. As McGregor went in for that first score. And it's going to be Rod Wishart, this winger from Illawarra, who has the kicking duties today. And I'm sure just the start that coach Bobby Fulton will have wanted. The joint coaches from this Cumbria outfit are Kurt Sorensen and Peter Walsh, who've tried to marshal the troops from far and wide in this last fortnight. But now Wishart, and he's got his kicking boots on. It's a good kick from the touchline, takes Australia into a 6-0 lead. So it's Cumbria who have to restart in the form of Dean Marwood. So Marwood again kicks it deep. Fittler tapped it back. Cumbria up very quickly. Sedaris at the hub of things onto Sirnan. Sirnan takes it in, but met by Russ Walker just outside the 20-yard area of Australia. Sedaris looks what his options are, then goes left onto Lazarus. Lazarus met by Armstrong though, brings him down as he went down centre field. Sedaris first there again, offloads, going wide onto Sailor. Sailor inside and outside and looking really sharp and going through. Well, what a score. There was fireworks expected from this man. He was fed the ball inside his own half, went inside, outside, wriggled and went right underneath the posts to extend the Australian lead. So poor Cumbrian tackling there allowed this big man from Brisbane to go in for his first score on tour. And it's fairly silenced the Cumbrian crowd. And Wishart obliged with the extra 2 to take Australia into a 12-0 lead. With barely 5 minutes gone. So crowd trying to lift them. They know they've got an uphill task. Marwood restarts, a little bit of a suspicion of offside at the restart, but Sirnan takes it before McCurry comes in to do the tackling. Sedaris onto Sailor, wanting a piece of the action again as they bring him down in centre field. Sedaris again, this time onto Lazarus. Takes 4 to bring him down. And what wouldn't Peter Walsh and Kurt Sorensen do to have a few of these big Aussies at their disposal week in, week out? But offload. Fittler through the gap. On to McGregor again. Here comes Brasher, and Brasher's going in for a try. So again Australia at the slightest opportunity on this left side, going for a try. Brasher up in the line and extend the lead to 16-0, and we've barely had 7 minutes. So I'm sure Rod Wishart's appreciating this kicking practice. This is his 3rd already this afternoon. Well, possibly the easiest is missed. He's feeling a little benevolent there against the Cumbrian side. So that's something of a let off. That's 2 points saved. So it's Marwood to kick off for the 4th time. Back to the try scorer, Brasher, who goes on a raid, just slipped as he went in there. Burkett and Armstrong in on the tackle. Sedaris goes right onto Fittler, the man that set that last try up. Well, forward pass as Terry Hill tried to feed Wishart, but the dangers are there. And with the likes of Malmeninga, etc., not yet seen on tour, it's a frightening thought. Marwood from the base. But not a lot set up. Now Burns, brought down by McGregor. Pape, the Carlisle captain, from acting half-back. Marwood trying to go through the gap. Certainly picked his man in Sirinen, the smallest and possibly the biggest on the field. Now McCurry trying to probe onto Neil, back to Marwood. Marwood tries to spin it wide onto Pape. Thumping tackle again by McGregor, finished off by Sailor on this near side. Short ball onto Knox. Knox trying to drive it in, but brought down by Roberts. This big manly prop. Now McCurry goes left onto Marwood, who hoists one on last tackle. Bodies everywhere, but Brasher takes it well. Cumbria holding it well for a set of 6, but already Hill tries to go on a raid. But ball rather fortuitously comes off a Cumbrian hand, so it's a scrum bang on the 22. The Aussies to feed. It's going to be Walters to feed this. Good push and one against the head. Now Burkett comes up with it. Now Marwood onto Walker. Walker right into Siddon, looking to offload, but he's forced back in the tackle. McCurry again onto Armstrong. Armstrong takes it in, but there's 2 in on the tackle to bring him down. McCurry first there, swings it left onto Marwood. Marwood looks for runners, short ball onto Elliott. Elliott did well to offload. Then back to Seeds. Good tackling again there by both half-backs. Now Neil. This big St Helens prop. It's last tackle. McCurry goes left again onto Marwood. Chipped through. Well, missed by Brasher, and there's a try on the far side. Cumbria holding it well for a set of 6. And there the man sliding in to take the opportunity. I think it's Paul Burns, the Workington Town Centre, to narrow the gap. So Burns narrows the gap. So well worked move as the ball skidded off the slippery surface. Burns was first there to put a hand on it and narrow the gap. And now Marwood knows every inch of this Derwent Park Plain surface. Kicked them from everywhere, trying to add on the conversion. And it's there, so that narrows it to 16 points to 6 after 12 minutes. So score now looks a bit more respectable than what it did a couple of minutes ago. 16 points to 6, the Aussies lead as Brasher about to restart. Brasher kicks it deep. Taken well by Elliott, this Warrington prop. Former Kells amateur. But Seeds trying to run it away, taking the pressure off his forwards. Now Routledge up from the full-back position. But referee said he spilled the ball. So it's a scrum down just outside the Town 22, the Cumbria 22. Walters feeds, big push, but scrum, and it's Cumbria who come up with it. Little Marwood trying to go around the base, but Walters there to upend him. Now McCurry miss out Neil, then on to Walker. Fittler in with what Mr. Connolly thought was a little bit high. Just warmed his ears up a little. So Mr. Connolly from Wigan, the strict disciplinarian. But that kick, something of a shank in golf, that one, but it's found touch. Pape takes the tap himself. Runs into Menzies and Fittler, and that's not recommended. Now McCurry onto Walker, looking full of running. Pleased he ducked under that tackle. McCurry darts, not aside, checks almost through the gap, looks for runners, finds Seeds. Seeds checks inside through Sailor, but fairly upended. Well, ball goes loose, going one way then back. Mr. Connolly will take the first infringement, so it'll be a scrum down, about 12 yards inside the Australian half. And it's going to be Kevin Walters to feed. This star-studded Australian side today. But it's a good push at the scrum from Cumbria, but Aussies come up with it. Onto Florimo, but upended. Good tackling by Kevin Pape, finished off by Knox. Now Walters, swift hands to McGregor. McGregor looking to offload, but only goes as far as Paul Burns. Bit of roughing up there, I think. Walker, Neil, well, did well, but then lost it. Well, Mr. Connolly said, went forward and given a scrum. Well, I thought he'd let play continue there. But it's Walters to feed in midfield. Referee not happy with things as they pack down there. Now Walters feeds onto Florimo. Runs it to Burkett, but he brings him down. Quick hands. Well, wanted to play it quickly, but Cumbria said infringed that they play the ball, not retiring. So the Aussies just calm things down, give it to Brasher, who kicks to touch. Sadaris takes it quickly onto Sailor, looking full of running, this lively left winger. Sadaris, well, ball lost, Pape in very, very quickly. Eventually finds Manley's prop Ian Roberts, who's upended, but Cumbria showing no respect, really getting stuck in early on. Now Menzies takes it up. Sadaris goes right onto Sirenen. Sirenen bulldozes his way ever nearer the try line. Sadaris onto Fittler. Fittler's the danger man. Onto Hill. Hill onto Roberts. Back to Sadaris. Looking to offload but couldn't, and Armstrong comes up with it. As Cumbria tried to run it away from deep. Crowd not too happy, claiming Australia are offside, that they play the balls. But the man that matters, Mr. Connolly, says not. As Burns tries to run it away. Now Seeds back to Marwood, who puts the boot in, trying to drive them back. Brasher takes it, second bounce, runs it in field onto Sailor. Well, crowd cried for a forward pass, nothing given. Now Wishart comes not aside, he spilled the ball though. Pape picks it up, but McGregor fairly upends him. Now McCurry onto Armstrong, taking it short. McGregor again in on the tackle. McCurry from acting half-back, but Australia, I think, with a little bit of advice from the crowd on the popular side, awarded to being offside. So Mr. Connolly awards the penalty to Cumbria and gives Dean Marwood a chance to again narrow the gap. After that lightning start where Australia amounted 16 points in the first 7 minutes, Cumbria have settled things down, narrowed the gap by 6 and now have a chance to narrow it to 8 points. So Marwood just to the right hand side of the uprights, about 30 metres. Looks good from here, and it's signalled in. So again the gap narrows to 16 points to 8 with that Marwood penalty on 19 minutes. So I'm sure coach Bobby Fulton quite shocked somewhat after the initial start, but it's Brasher to restart along the bottom. Ball just allowed to go into touch quite sensibly by David Seeds, another product of the Kells Amateur Club, now playing his professional rugby with Whitehaven. Marwood feeds, comes up with it, round the base, onto Burkett. Burkett trying to wriggle his way around McGregor, but to no avail. Marwood onto Armstrong, trying to step it in field, but there's 3 in on the tackle. McCurry onto Neil. Neil offloads, back to McCurry, then onto Elliott. Elliott checks, but there's 3 there to wrap him up. He's Warwick in second row. Now McCurry. McCurry back to Marwood, who again puts the kick in to try to drive the Aussies back. Brasher takes it well. Ticks it in field, but again, the cover's up very, very quickly. Now the Aussies, quick line out. Straighten it up, but a good tackle there by Elliott and Burkett. So already the Aussies making a substitution. Glenn Lazarus has left the field. Don't know whether he's taken a bang already. He had his knee heavily strapped. So I think it'll be David Fairley from the North Sydney club. Marwood feeds. Comes up with it via his boot rather than the hookers. Burkett. Burns. Chip through for Roper to chase, but finds touch. So it drives the Aussies back into their own 22, 15 yards from their own line. There's certainly a good old tussle going on in them 2 front rows. Referee still not happy. Thought there was a swinging right there, but nothing awarded. Australia come up with it, knocks round very, very quickly, but awarded offside. And then another 10 yards, throwing the ball away. Now Walters hands the ball to Fittler, who hands the ball to Brasher, and then decide on a kick to touch on the grandstand side. A successful touch finder as the rain continues to pound at Derwent Park. Wishart takes the first one in. Sedaris onto the substitute. Fairley takes the first one in. Now Sedaris looks for runners, checks onto Sirnan. Sirnan looking to offload over the top, but Pape did well to smother the ball. Sedaris again onto Walters. Walters wide onto Fittler. Fittler Through the gap goes Florimo. Lost the ball. Linesman on the far side said it was knocked on rather than knocked out. So he awards the scrum. So that's a let-off for Cumbria. 23 minutes gone. Score remains 16 points to 8 in Australia's favour. As now Mr. Connolly has a word with both the open side props, Jonathan Neal and Ian Roberts. Tells him what he expects, not that they get it, and Cumbria come up with it. Burns tries a run, but held up by Florimo. Put Australia up very, very quickly. But penalty awarded. A little bit of indiscipline. I'm sure they'll want to cut that out as the tour continues. Let Cumbria off the hook. So it's going to be Marwood to kick to touch on this, the popular side at Derwent Park. Finds a safe touch, just misses our cameras. Not for the first time this year. Seeds tries a run, but Roberts upends him. Well, Australia come up with it at the play of the ball. Sedaris onto Wendell Saylor. Very big man for a winger as well. Now Fairley on the far side. He spilled the ball though. Cumbria come up with it. Well, referee allowed play to continue. Now Australia, in form of Roberts, trying to straighten it up. Sedaris looking to offload. Routledge did very well there to smother the ball and extinguish the danger. Sidnan from the acting half-back position. But penalty awarded. Sedaris takes it quickly, then checks, goes back to the right, onto Fittler. Fittler fires one to Walters. Walters onto Fairley, wide again onto Florimo. The cover came across well though and stopped things rather prematurely. Now Sedaris first there. Walters looks for runners, back to Brasher, but things just stopped and Walker upends him. Now Sedaris offloads onto Florimo. Danger here. Onto Walters. Can he make it? He's on his back. But referee says double movement. Disallows the try. So again, good cover. Came across. I'm sure from an Australian point of view, the loss of Glenn Lazarus, if it is an injury, it'll be a big shock at this very early stage of the tour. As Roper takes this first one, just about his first touch of the afternoon, but loses the ball. Again at the play of the ball, that's twice Cumbria have done it. Now Roberts drives it down centre field. Sedaris onto Sirinen. Sirinen trying to set it up and look for support. Can't offload on this occasion. But penalty awarded against the smallest man on the pitch for interference, Marwood. Sedaris offloads onto Roberts, trying to get a good head of steam up. He's still on his feet, 2 yards out. They hold him up. McGregor, this speedy centre from acting half-back, goes right onto Walters. Walters checks, goes through the gap. But Routledge, I think it was, who brought him down. Aussies look right. Onto Fittler. Fittler onto McGregor. McGregor stands in the tackle, still on his feet. Still going, a la Malmeninga style. But they hold him up with about 4 wrapped round him. Still 2 yards out. Australia lined out very, very deeply to the left. Fittler checks. Looked a little bit of obstruction. Referee agrees. Australia don't. Little bit of mouth in and they'll gain 10 yards. Mr. Sirnan just questions the decision. Not that he'll get any change out of Mr. Connolly. Neil wrapped up on halfway by Fairley and Roberts. Now McCurry onto Marwood. Marwood jinks left onto Armstrong. Short ball back to Burkett. Burkett chips through. Crowd thought it was late. Brasher takes it well. Under immense pressure from Roper. Kicked through, but Australia come up with it. The Aussies, Fittler. Great tackle, Kevin Pape. Big hit on Paul McGregor. It was a thumping hit that's brought the crowd to life. Sadar is struggling to get the head in. Marwood feeds, comes up with it, goes left onto Burkett. Burkett saw what his options were, then took it himself before Florimo brings him down. Now Marwood first there onto Routledge up from the full back position, but met by Sirnan, who thumps him back. Marwood onto Armstrong. Good hit by Fairley up very, very quickly. Now McCurry onto Neil. Neil met by Sydenham, but he's offloaded well. Marwood checks, then went on to Burns. His teammate, but brought down by Terry Hill. Now Armstrong takes it up, looking to offload, which he does. As far as Burkett, Knox tries to chip through behind the defence. Wendell Saylor takes it back. Oh, super pass to Brasher. All in one movement. Now Walters and there's Saylor again. Right back into the action. Sedaris back to Menzies. Florimo's making his way back rather gingerly. Whether he's taken a knock or not, I don't know, the standoff. But Cumbria up in the tackle very, very well as well. Sedaris, well, don't think Fairlong was ready for that. So a mistake deep in the Aussies' territory. Marwood feeds onto Burkett. Burkett onto Routledge. Routledge onto Pape. Tries on the outside. Routledge tries the narrow side, but it was bottled up and Fittler and McGregor bring him down. Now Pape, the Cumbrian captain, onto Walker. Walker drives it in for a good tackle again. McCurry from acting halfback goes left onto Armstrong. Armstrong spills the ball though and Menzies comes up with it. So mistake by Cumbria, hands possession back to the Aussies as Roberts tries to run it away. 32 minutes gone, score remains 16 points to 8 in the Aussies' favour. Sirenen trying to fend them off before he's brought down by Armstrong. Sedaris onto Fairley, but he goes over the top of them, running like a centre. Fairley inside to Menzies, and Menzies is going in for a try. Super rugby made by Fairley, who went over the top of two weak tackles. Had Menzies running up in support, and Australia extend the lead. So Menzies, this strong running second row from Manly, gets his first try on tour. And sees Australia into a 20 points to 8 lead, which should be added on to by Wishart. Which he does, so that takes the score to 22 points to 8 after 33 minutes. So after a good lively spell by Cumbria, it's the Aussies who put points on the board. So it's Marwood to restart. Along the bottom, back to Walters, who feeds it on to Sailor. Sailor scything through tackles. Sedaris onto Fittler. Sure, we'll see him at some point, Fittler, in the test series. Sedaris trying to go through the gap and almost doing so. Had Florimo with him. Sirenen. Oh, great pass on to McGregor. McGregor jinks in field. Knox did well, but he's offloaded to Sedaris. Sedaris now kicks through. Brasher up in support and goes in for the try, does he? Well, the referee said no, it was a knock on. Now Cumbria take the quick tap. Crowd thought he was offside. Now they are offside and interference and everything at the play of the ball. Mr. Sidnan doesn't seem too happy with that decision as he hoofs the ball away. Sailor retrieves it, and the end result is a Cumbrian penalty. So it's Martin Burkett who's got the kicking duties now. Kick to us on the popular side, which he does so successfully. Takes play at just short of halfway. Kevin Pape first there. Taps it, then goes himself. An unrehearsed move. Now McCurry onto Neil. Thumping hit, but he's offloaded well. I don't think Russ Walker will thank him too much for those passes though. McCurry onto Marwood. Miss out Armstrong, then onto Knox. But eventually wrestled to the ground by Walters. Marwood onto Burkett. Burkett almost through, but brought down 5 yards inside the Australian half. McCurry back to Marwood. Marwood puts the kick in, come off an Australian hand. Sailor picks it up. But good tackling by both Cumbrian props, Russ Walker and Jonathan Neal. Now Sedaris goes right onto Fairley. Good run as he sucked 3 in. Still standing in the tackle. Now Sedaris goes left. Walters back in field. Goes Menzies straightening it up. Menzies got Brasher with him. But good tackle back by Burns. But the ball went forward. Referee Mr. Connolly right on the spot. 4 minutes to go plus any stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's Australia who lead 22 points to 8. Marwood feeds, comes up with it onto Burkett. Burkett upended by Florimo. Now Marwood first there onto Routledge, trying to wriggle inside. McCurry onto Walker. Walker upended by Sedaris, and Menzies just short of halfway. McCurry again onto Neil. Neil, a thumping tackle brings him down again, just short of halfway. Referee said across the chest. Now Marwood again puts the boot in, trying to drive them back. Wishart takes it, has Brescia with him, didn't use him, and he's upended. So these big Aussies forwards have to trudge their way back. Won't have to go too far as Australia run it out. Still going. Eventually brought down on the Aussies' 10-yard line. Walters back in field onto Roberts. Brasher quick hands onto Sedaris. Sedaris wide, but Florimo just spills the ball. Eventually back to Routledge, but they have lost about 30 yards in the process. But good pressure by the Aussies. Burns met by Menzies. Now Marwood goes down centre field, almost through. Fairley brings him back. Now McCurry looks for support, has Jonathan Neal with him, but just spills the ball. Just a couple of minutes before half time. Scrum it down just on halfway. Walters feeds, comes up with it, options open, goes right onto Florimo, Brasher up in the line. Good tackling on the far side though by Routledge up from the full back position. Florimo struggled to bring the standoff down. Sedaris looks left onto Fittler, Fittler onto Walters, Walters looks for runners, almost an interception, he put McGregor off though. But Cumbria come up with it. Now Marwood. McCurry from acting half-back onto Walker. And there goes the half-time hooter. A tremendous start by the Aussies, showing no jet lag whatsoever. On 3 minutes, McGregor went in for a super try. Goal by Wishart from the try line. And then Wendell Saylor, we've heard a lot about him, we've seen it firsthand, took the ball on inside his own half, shot through some half-hearted tackling to go underneath the sticks, goal by Wishart. Then Brasher got in on the act from the full-back position. It looked ominous at 16 points to nil after 7 minutes. Then Burns narrowed the gap after a chip through by Marwood. Marwood goaled on 11 minutes, 16-6. Marwood narrowed the gap even further, 16 points to 8 with a penalty. Then on 33 minutes, Menzies shot through to score again under the posts. Goal by Wishart to take a half-time score at Derwent Park. Cumbria 8, Australia 22.
And number 17, Lee Smith, replacing number 1, John Rutledge, and number 4, Paul Burns.
Burns is playing on Tuesday night, obviously. So as both teams already out for the start of this second half, Mr. Connolly starts the proceedings. Taken deep. 2 substitutions on the Cumbrian side. Lee Anderson replaces John Routledge and Lee Smith replaces Paul Burns. Now Walker runs it away from deep. Rain still pounds at Derwent Park, as I'm sure you can tell by the Cumbria strips. Well, McCurry did well to wriggle out of that one. Back to Marwood, who puts the kick in. As far as Wishart. Goes back, picks it up, knocks up very quickly. Does the tackling with Seeds. Walters onto Brasher. Brasher takes it infield, shoves off one, but doesn't shove off Jonathan Neal as he wrestles him to the ground. Now Fairley takes it up strongly again. Sedaris miss out Sirinen. Onto Florimo. Walters onto Sedaris, dummies the kick, looking to offload, doesn't, still in possession, offloads onto Sirinen. Last tackle. They put pressure on the kicker. Back to Walters. Walters puts the kick in. Hoisted. Anderson's under it. And takes it. Spills it. Comes up with it. very, very close to his own goal line. Now Smith trying to run it away. Armstrong run it out. Sedaris brings him down though, still in the Cumbria 20-yard area. But Mr. Connolly not too happy at the play of the ball, awards the penalty against Australia. So it's going to be Burkett to kick the touch. Safe touch finder. Keeps Cumbria on the attack. Roper runs it infield. Not had too much of the ball this afternoon, this Warrington wingman. Now McCurry onto Jonathan Neal. Neal's been an ever-present runner. Linesman's on. Spotted something. Mr. Connolly goes in to defuse the situation, has a word with his linesman. Says the knee went in. He was practicing his can, he says. But penalty awarded against Australia. So again, the niggling little penalties, which I'm sure they'll want to extinguish, but ball into touch, not making too much of a headway. Smith tries to run it in. McCurry onto Walker, but he spilled the ball. So just an unfortunate mistake. And really the handling throughout has been very, very good considering the conditions. Still, they have trouble with that front row. Walters feeds, no trouble now. Come up with it. Now Fittler. Things have seemed to happen every time Fittler gets the ball. Sedaris, but he's upended. Walters goes left. Florimo did well to take it. Menzies straightens it up. Held up well on the Cumbria 10-yard line. Sedaris onto Fittler. Fittler fires it left. Then onto Fairley. Fairley just couldn't find the final pass. He had Wishart on his shoulder. Now Walters takes it up quickly. Onto Fittler. Fittler again, but Sirenen spills it. Much to the relief of the crowd on his popular side. Otherwise there could be another score on. But it's a scrum in midfield. 30 metres out from the Cumbria line. Marwood comes up with it. Onto Burkett. Burkett on the far side, wrestled down by Menzies. Pape trying to go himself, wanting a piece of the action. Now McCurry, but Australia caught offside. Armstrong takes it quickly and rather sensibly ran into one. So it's not 10 yards, another penalty awarded. So Burkett given the job of kicking the touch. She does so more successfully on this occasion, gains a good 20 yards in the process. McCurry takes it quickly. Sets up play just outside the Aussies 22. Lee Smith runs across before he tried to straighten it up, but met by Sirnan and Roberts. Two real heavyweights of this Aussie pack. Curry, short, back to Walker. Now McCurry again onto Marwood. Marwood looks for runners onto Armstrong. Armstrong onto Seeds, taking it shortly, but McGregor brings him down with the help of Firomo. Well, eventually back to Armstrong via Elliott, via Knox. McGregor brings him down. Roper from acting half back onto Marwood again, tries on the narrow side, back to Knox. but hand over. Ball fired wide, Sailor's in possession, straightens it up, goes through the gap, one-on-one, Anderson wriggles and waves, and Sailor's going in for a try. Nobody will stop him from one end of the field to the other. Wendell Sailor has arrived. Look out, Great Britain. Scythed through from his own 10-yard area, the full length of the field to extend the lead to 26 points to 8. That's his second of the afternoon. Once again, he certainly knows how to silence the British crowds. And this again should be a formality for Wishart. And it's there, so that extends the Australian lead to 28 points to 8. So it's Cumbria who now trail by 20 points. Marwood restarts as far as Fittler onto Hill, whose sister is the girlfriend of Town's Kyle White. Cumbria caught offside, said Mr. Connolly. Take it quickly. Sadari's brought down right on halfway. Walters onto Fittler. Fittler looks for runners. Menzies shrugs off one. Onto Hill again. Hill shrugs them off. This Manly centre running riot on the far side. Sailor from the wing position onto Fittler. Fittler just fires one out. Floremo goes through the gap as Menzies with him. Good tackle by Anderson. Australia lined out deep on the right now. McGregor straightens it up. Looked a bit of crossing. Thank goodness for that. It's kept the try line intact again. So it's a penalty or obstruction. So Marwood just takes his time, places it before he kicks the touch. Cumbria wanting to make another substitution. So it's David Elliott, this Warrington second row, who leaves the field, being replaced by Stephen Holgate. So Holgate gets his chance. Marwood finds touch. Now Seeds takes the first one in as he tries to wriggle out of tackles. But loses the ball. Walters feeds very quickly. Floremo eventually. So Australia again running through tackles. Fittler onto Menzies. Menzies dummies looking to offload. I don't know whether you caught all that over the tannoy, but Cumbria making another substitution. There it is, it's Neil Shaw on for Kevin Pape. As Australia again tried to raid. Last tackle. Terry Hill there, acting half back, Natter side onto Fittler, quick ball onto Fairley. Fairley, can he make it? Referee said not. He's right on the spot. Well, force the Cumbria people back. Neil fairly upended. Now Allgate trying to run it out. McCurry onto Armstrong. Armstrong over the top of Menzies, but Menzies sticks to his task and brings him down. Cumbria struggling a bit now to get out of their own territory. But as the kick comes in, the penalty's awarded against Australia. Have to play the ball. So it's Burkett who finds touch. Roper straightens it up as he runs into Fairley, but he's lost the ball. Penalty awarded though on the intervention of the touch judge on the far side. So again, Cumbria gaining yardage through silly letters by the Aussies. Marwood finds touch. Now Neil looking to get a good head of steam up before he's run into the defence of Fittler and Fairley. Russ Walker runs it to Sirenen before he brings him down. Cumbria making good headway though, holding it well for sets of 6. Now Holgate drives it in. McCurry onto Marwood. Marwood changes direction onto Armstrong. Armstrong looking to offload, but the ball was smothered by Fairley there, just outside the Aussies 22. McCurry darts right, has Neil with him. Neil needed somebody off his shoulder, but nobody was there. It's last tackle. Another side, McCurry chips through, behind the defence, but ball just runs dead. So it'll be a tap. Sadari's first there. No great urgency. Now the Aussies in the form of Fittler run it away from deep. Wishart from acting half back goes himself, Natter side, met by Holgate. Walters again, Natter side. Now Shaw in on the tackle with Seeds. Sadaris, dummies, goes himself. Looks to offload and he does. Brash it up very, very quickly from the full back position. Now Walters fires it left. Fittler looks what his options are, then kicks it through deep. And ball just finds touch. Just shepherded into touch there, but Wendell Saylor was breathing down the neck. Remember, he's on a hat-trick. So it'll be a scrum, 10 yards from the Cumbria line. .16 of the second half gone. The only addition to the score was the Wendell Saylor try. But it's Cumbria with Neil Shaw trying to run it away, but they're camped deep in their own half at present. Pressure really is beginning to tell. Anderson tries to run it away. This Whitehaven fullback. Now McCurry onto Neil, short ball. Through the gap. Holgate but just came to nothing. But first real telling break. McCurry onto Walker, thumping tackle by Roberts. Tremendous tackle. But Russ Walker happy to continue, he's up on his feet. It's going to be Walters to feed this scrum. Walters onto Hill. Hill almost through again, takes two to bring him down. Wishart from acting half-back going himself, looking to straighten up as he ploughs through the mud. Shaw brings him down. Sedaris onto Fittler. Fittler checks back in field, still on his feet, now offloads onto Sedaris. Eventually wrestled to the ground though by Neil. Walters. Put Florimo. Sedaris. Onto Florimo, but he's brought down. Sedaris again, probing, now puts the kick in. Anderson positions himself well, wriggles past Menzies, but he's spilled the ball. Roberts, the big man from Manly, picks it up. Again, Cumbria under pressure. Menzies onto Walters. Walters fairly just slipped there as he went into the tackle. Sedaris goes right, Sirnan on the left, looked forward and fairly goes in for a try. Crowd thought it was forward, but referee thought otherwise, and that extends the Aussies' lead. So Fairley, the substitute, opens his account on tour and extends the lead to 32 points to 8. And Wishart with what looks like the simplest of conversions. Crowd still having a little chunter about that pass. Weren't too happy about that. But it's there. An Australia lead, 34 points to 8. So we enter the final quarter, 19 minutes to go. Australia lead, 34 points to 8. Marwood to restart. Deep kick this time. Taken well. Pressure. Runs it straight back out before he's met by 3 defenders who force him back. Now Hill. Well, Cumbria's turn to win it at the play of the ball. Now Holgate, still on his feet, Holgate. Very strong lad this. Brings the crowd back to life. McCurry from acting half-back. Back to Marwood, Marwood onto Burkett. Wide onto Seeds, Seeds trying to wriggle past McGregor. 10 yards out, Burkett goes right onto Jonathan Neal. Neal offloads onto Marwood. Marwood wide onto Holgate again. Checks in the tackle. Florimo forces him back and fairly finishes him off. Now Marwood, chip over the top. Wishart takes it well. Thumping tackle by Roper though, which forces the drop out. So again, good pressure by Cumbria, holding it well. putting the kick in and penning Australia back. Again, the Aussies not in too much of a hurry. Mr. Sirnan marshalling his troops as Brasher restarts. Taken well by Russ Walker, gets up a good head of steam here. Bang! Clash of the Titans. Now Anderson up from the full back position onto Marwood in field onto Neil Shaw. Shaw trying to straighten it up. But he's lost a boot in the process as McCurry tries to go himself, looking to offload. He does so to Marwood, miss out Neil, then onto Armstrong. Armstrong takes it up before Florimo knocks him down. Cumbria still in possession. Marwood goes right onto Neil. Neil, short ball, didn't go to hand. It does now onto Russ Walker. Russ Walker back to Armstrong. Roper, oh, he just picked it up, but just slipped as he had the beat in a Wishart, who'd went in for the interception. Armstrong onto Marwood. Marwood chipped through. Well, surely that'll be a penalty. Now, will that be a sin binning? Thought that could have been a sin binning offence for a technical foul, and it is. So it's Paul McGregor who finds his way to the sin bin, or it should be. No, I think it's Brasher he's sent. Tim Brasher. Well, he's still not happy. He wants Mr. Brasher to leave the field. As Cumbria want to make another substitution, it's Colin Armstrong who leaves the field. Being replaced by, I think, is it David Elliott again? Yes, David Elliott replaces Colin Armstrong. Got through a lot of work. It's about the third time he's played against the Aussies. Big Buck leaves the field to a great ovation as Cumbria, in the form of Jonathan Neal, take the first one up. McCurry from acting half-back. Short ball, dummy. McCurry went himself, has used Roper as a decoy. Neal trying to open it up. Marwood checks onto Burkett. Wide, Seeds. Holgate knocks. Chip through, it's still all on, but the ball runs dead and just eludes them. But good enterprise by Cumbria, giving it plenty of air on that occasion. But the Aussies line holds firm. Sedaris now on to prop Ian Roberts, trying to run it out. Now Menzies again, he goes through the top of them. This second rower again from the Manly club. Sirinen takes it up. Big hit. Holgate brings him down. Now Walters onto McGregor. McGregor, another good hit by Neil Shaw. This Barrow player, the only Barrow representative. Now Fairley onto Walters, missed out Sailor, Fittler. Menzies running like a centre, still going. Well, they managed to haul him down. It's last tackle. Can the line hold out? The signal for it wide. Now the hoisted kick goes up. Who's under it? Well, it is a try, I think, but your guess is as good as mine. Who scored it? I think it's Ian Roberts who's the man to pick the ball up, who's claimed it. So the big Manly prop on last tackle goes in for the try.
The try scorer, number 8, Ian Roberts.
So Roberts gets on the try scoring list on 65 minutes. And once again, this Wishart conversion is a formality. So the score will reach 40, and we haven't finished yet. A somewhat flattering score. So it's Australia who lead 40 points to 8. Cumbria certainly have given of the best this afternoon. So Marwood again to restart. Over the head of Fittler, but there's a man there to take it. Sedaris goes right onto Fairley. Fairley offloads onto Sedaris. They've got Sailor there. Walters didn't use him. Walters goes himself. Well, might have used Sailor to better effect, but tried to go himself. Sedaris onto Fittler. Fittler infield to Sorensen, to Sirenen. Again, it's basketball stuff now. Fairley's held up. Sedaris onto Fittler. Fittler onto Walters. Walters onto Sailor this time. Goes through the gap, jinking as he goes onto McGregor. McGregor spilled the ball. Well, he looked left. If he'd have looked right, there was a walk in for Wishart. But it's a let off. Still Australia only used one substitution. Jonathan Neal, I think, goes to the blood bin. The claret's flowing from this St Helens prop. So I think it could well be Colin Armstrong coming back on. So it's a short spell of a sit down for Colin Armstrong as he comes right back on. Marwood onto Burkett, Sailor up there, thumping tackle. Marwood again, onto Walker.
The substitution for Cumbria under the blood bin ruling, number 11, Colin Armstrong. Returning and replacing number 8.
Now Anderson up from the full-back position, second half substitution for John Routledge. McCurry in field, Marwood tucks it, second attempt. Seeds trying to break away, loses the ball. Sirenen onto Wishart. Wishart going through some slack tackling, but he's brought down by Russ Walker. Sedaris onto Roberts. Roberts back to Sedaris, dummies the kick, then onto Fairley. Fairley back in field, stands in the tackle, still goes through the gap. Good tackle back by McCurry though. Sedaris through his legs, Menzies picks it up. Got runners there, dummies, goes himself. Held up 10 yards from the Cumbrian line. Can they hold them out? Sedaris again at the hub of things, looks left, looks right. Takes it, goes left to Walters. Walters spins it right onto McGregor. McGregor takes them up and Fairley has a walk in. So Walters switched play, McGregor stood up, fed Fairley, who shot through the gap.
The try scorer, number 14, David Fairley.
So Fairley gets his second try of the half and takes Australia to 44 with the conversion to come. And Wishart, this might test him a little bit with this conversion. Remember, Australia have Alan Langer on the bench. We haven't seen him. I'm sure the crowd will love to see little Alfie on the pitch, but nothing as yet. So it's Wishart with this somewhat stuttered run. Here he goes. But isn't it effective? So there it goes to 46 points to 8. So Wishart, that's his 7th conversion of the afternoon. So Marwood restarts with about 5 minutes to go plus any stoppage time. I'm sure Cumbria would like another try on the board before the finish. As Hill runs it away from deep again. Fairly upended. Took some doing though, didn't it? Fairly, who's played well, the substitute, since his introduction. Move on here. Fittler. Ooh, that was good job. That got extinguished because they had men over on the far side. Now Sailor again up in the line, but they're alert to the danger. It's last tackle. Walters wide, interception, but Knox just couldn't take it. Great effort by the Carlisle player. So it's a scrum down. It'll give the Aussies another chance of ball in hand, which it does. Here comes Sailor. Neil Shaw, the man, quickly from round the base. Wide, Hill. Wrapped up by Elliott though, and Seeds. Another side, Sadaris, dummies, goes through the gap. Good tackling back again by Elliott. But Holgate penalised. Australia take it quickly. Fittler in midfield, back to McGregor. McGregor offloads to Sadaris, but he spills the ball. Ball went forward, referee Mr. Connolly right on the spot.
Today's John Smith Man of the Match, selected by the press, will receive £100 and an engraved crystal tankard. The John Smith Man of the Match from Australia, number 12, Steve Menzies.
So just announced as Anderson kicks through on first tackle. Roper chases it through. Brasher's there very quickly. That look forward. So good enterprise in play. Scrum down. And just announced the man of the match goes to the Australian second rower from Manly, Steve Menzies. Already has 2 tries. Who's to say he won't get a third? Burkett, then on to Knox. Had a reception committee waiting for him there, but he's offloaded. Burkett, another side, on to Smith. Marwood, back to Walker. Thumping tackle by Roberts again. But said the ball was stolen. Well, thought it came off the foot as it went forward. Referee thought otherwise and awarded a scrum. Couple of minutes to go plus any stoppage time now. Sailor again comes on another raid. Still on his feet. It's the struggle to bring him down. Still on his feet. Like an all-in wrestler. Sedaris onto Walters. Walters fires it wide. Fittler's there again. On comes Menzies, the man of the match, but a good tackle there. This time by McCurry. Sedaris just spills the ball. Cumbria come up with it. Marwood has a little run, looks to offload onto Shaw. Shaw onto Seeds. Good tackle back though again by Fairley, the substitute. Neil Shaw onto Marwood. Marwood jinks. Good tackle again by Fairley. Jonathan Neal now returns from Colin Armstrong after his spell in the blood bin. Holgate brought down. Neil Shaw goes left onto Marwood. Marwood looks for runners, just into space though. Roper did well to recover. Seeds infield onto Anderson. Good tackle, Wishart. Last tackle this time. Marwood hoists one. It's got snow on it. Brasher under it well, covered well by Roberts as well. Walters again on the far side. They tried to mount something. Hill did well to take it, but upended there by Lee Smith. Now Sailor again. Brought down this well. Now Fittler. Fittler short ball onto Menzies again. Menzies looks for runners. Elliott did well. McGregor. And then to Wishart with the final pass just didn't go to hand. And now Roper's got it. Can he score? Roper. Oh, but a good tackle there. Florimo alert to it as Shaw tries to run it from half back himself. Marwood onto McCurry. McCurry in midfield, fires it wide. Now Holgate. Knox tried to step inside a tackle, but that man Menzies again to bring him down. McCurry onto Neil. Neil offloads, but ball just not going to hand. The defence is good. Marwood puts the kick in behind the defence. Sailor has to chase it back. Smith's up there first with Shaw, but he offloads onto Brasher. Brasher, good tackle, Seeds. But not aside comes Wishart. Into stoppage time now at the end of this game. Walters. Then Fittler. Fittler a superb pass, finds Hill in space. Hill onto Sailor. Sailor back in field trying to dodge and jink. Eventually to Menzies. Menzies, can he find the final pass? He can to Sedaris, and he's going to make it 50. Tremendous handling, passing movement, and Sedaris goes in up in support for a try which takes him to the half century. Tremendous try that.
The try scorer, number 9, Jim Sedaris.
And again, this should be Wishart's 8th conversion of the afternoon. Could well be the final kick of the proceedings as well. I don't think he'll need to dig too much of a hole there, because I'm sure there'll be one or two around it. And there it is, so that takes the score to 52 points to 8. And there goes the hooter. Score 22-8 at